What's up everyone, OJ here. Welcome back to another video, and we have to talk about this one more time. It's funny because so many people brought this to my attention about the whole review bombing, and I had a video that I just did about this when it comes to Astral Chain. Make sure you guys check out that video. In the thumbnail of that previous video, I had a picture of Vegeta, then I also had a picture of one of the Astral Chain protagonists, the female one, and then the whole surprise, it's over 9,000, the scouter right before that happened, just to kind of signify like, yo, what is this craziness that's happening? And I think it was around 295 negative reviews, and you know what, just when I thought the internet couldn't get any worse, the definitive Game of the Year edition of Stupid is back again with more user bomb reviews of Astral Chain. But I think at this point, because of all the attention that it got and all of the stuff that was happening, people are literally just going over there on purpose to try to get this weird type of fake clout. I'm not really sure what's going on, but I look at the user reviews again for Metacritic on Astral Chain, and it's actually went down. The last time that I saw it was 7.0 when I did my video. Now it's 6.3 with 795 negative reviews, ranging from people saying that the combat is just a button masher, which obviously they didn't play the game, or they played on the Unchained difficulty mode where you're just basically mashing buttons and it's really easy for those who just want a simple experience. They didn't play on the normal mode, and for sure they didn't play on the ultimate mode, and they probably just didn't play the game at all. I'm thinking that's just what happens, and they're really just kind of joining into this just to do it. But this is by far the Game of the Year silly edition when it comes to this, and the stupidity level is definitely over 9,000 when it comes to it. But I think, you know what the funny thing is, I talked about this before, it's like turning a negative into a positive. So let's go ahead and do that by talking about how amazing, once again, in terms of my updated thoughts on Astral Chain. So this is S tier salt that's going on here. This is definitely pure platinum S plus tier salt on some of these user reviews, which I think at first was genuinely salt, S tier salt, and now at this point it's not really salty. I think people are just doing it just because. But it's even funny because more people are rushing over there to give it positive reviews as well. Over 1,200 positive reviews on the game, over 2,083 ratings, which is just absolutely nuts for this type of game. But let's talk about this just a little bit more. I have my updated impressions of Astral Chain, and I have to say, guys, this is by far one of Platinum's best games, if not their best game, and I can easily see why somebody at first would say, you know what, maybe this is not that great. But once you start playing it, I'm starting to see people, or at least people that got farther than me, saying this is my favorite Platinum Games title of all time. I like it more than Bayonetta 2, I like it more than Bayonetta, I like it more than Nier. And at first I was like, yo, wait a minute, how can somebody go that far? I mean, I even said it myself. I said I think that I like Bayonetta 2 more than this one, but the more that I play it, the more that I advance through, the more that I upgrade, the more of the different legions that I recapture, I'm starting to realize that this is definitely more my style of game than Bayonetta. Now, there's things that Bayonetta definitely does better. I think the camera and the control and everything are a bit better, but when it comes to the actual combat and the gameplay and what you can do and the flow of the gameplay with the kind of the open-ended elements, the side quest type of stuff, all the different items and the leveling and the legion expansion and all of that, you start getting through all these different legions and having those abilities, it really starts opening up, and it makes the gameplay so much more in-depth and varied, especially when you start upgrading your X-Baton and all the different stuff that you can do there, getting different abilities, getting different stuff that you can equip on your legions in order to have like ability nodes, and they can get basically benefits from just activating them or just equipping them on top of their different legion skills and different abilities that they can get through that. It's absolutely incredible the amount of depth and the amount of strategy that goes into this, especially when trying to get the S tier difficulties and all of that, and just the replay value. Heck, I've even replayed some of the previous chapters to kind of go back, because as you unlock your different legions when you go through the game, there are certain segments that you can't access at the beginning because you don't have that legion, but you can go back and access access that once you get that. So I don't want to ruin anything for anybody, so I'm not going to be showing any of that footage. You're just going to be seeing the footage that you see normally, or the stuff that Nintendo, not normally, but the stuff that Nintendo has already shown off. But I find it just very intriguing. I find it like it's therapeutic almost. Like with Bayonetta, there's just so much action, right? Action is thrown at you, action is thrown at you. There's not really a lot of RPG elements outside of, okay, you can get some halos, you can use those to get some upgrades and stuff like that. But this to me seems like a true fusion, more of like the Wonderful 101 and Nier. The more that I play it, Bayonetta is not really in there. The only thing that I kind of see from Bayonetta is some of like the attack patterns and things like that, but really the dodge offset. That is something they do have built into the game. Normally is a standard dodge offset where if you're attacking and then you dodge and then you can continue your attack straight from there, your combo chain, but it only works after you do the dodge one time. If you do it twice, the dodge offset no longer works. So you can attack like 5 times and then you can dodge and then you can get ready for your sync attack on the 6th one or the 5th one or however long it takes to get it with the standard X baton on your sword Legion. So I'm seeing stuff like that, but then you see the action and you kind of see like the pacing of the story and the different legions that you get and what you do with your sync attacks and what you have to do to kind of dodge and get out of the way. It's frustrating to all hell, but at the same time it's still super fun to kind of just get better and continuing to try to get through the game. Some of the action sequences in this game are just absolutely nuts. So that's what I think I love about this game. It's the RPG elements combined with like some of the open-ended world stuff and the side quests kind of thrown in there. It kind of mixes kind of the stuff that I wanted from Wonderful 101 a little bit more in with Nier, you know, and then kind of puts the aesthetic on there that makes it look visually from an artistic standpoint and also from a gameplay standpoint better than both of those games, Nier and the Wonderful 101. But I think that's really what we should be judging this game with. Bayonetta is a different style. Bayonetta is with a game like, let's say, Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry and Nier, or Devil May Cry and Wonderful 101, they're not in the same category, you know. So Bayonetta and Devil May Cry, they're in that kind of category. They're kind of separated. This is more of in the Nier, Wonderful 101, that type of thing. And I think that Astral Chain kind of one-ups that. But in terms of the gameplay style that I like, I think that Astral Chain definitely fits more of that. So many amazing things that this game does, especially with the Legion swapping and being able to unlock the different nodes in your Legion. And that's where I'm really kind of going into and trying to unlock and get the different abilities and everything, because the Legions just get so much better and better, especially with their attacks. One of my favorite ones that you get at the beginning is like the little round blades that you get around your sword Legion. That is such a great attack, especially for boss fights, racking up that damage. You can kind of combine it maybe a little bit with like the strength buff or using an item and then also activating that to do really big damage with the sword Legion. So there's a lot of great stuff that you can do, man, that you can really just kind of enhance the gameplay, make it better for you. And I'm looking forward to kind of going through. I'm about halfway through the game or so, maybe. Like I said, no spoilers, but it is a really good game, and anybody who plays it and gives it a shot and continues to upgrade and level up and all that will realize that, yo, these user reviews, obviously they don't know what they're doing or they've never played the game. So definitely go out there, pick up Astral Chain. Fantastic title, great graphics, great gameplay. I like the story so far. Voice acting is solid. A lot of different stuff to do. Plenty of content for a single player game, getting all the different orders and stuff like that, upgrading. Phenomenal game. So I will probably have more impressions of Astral Chain as I go along and more stuff to talk about. I know I've already talked about it when it comes to gameplay, but that was the beginning. Now I'm kind of towards the middle. I want to get everything, then kind of talk about it some more as I go along, then finally beat the game, kind of like I did with Fire Emblem. So what are you guys' thoughts on Astral Chain? And what are you guys' thoughts on these silly S-tier salt reviews, user reviews? And do you guys even care? You shouldn't, because I've talked about this before, but these user reviews literally mean nothing. But one more thing that I've noticed here, guys, I think that at the end of this whole ordeal, I think that the negative reviews are going to try to get even with the positive reviews. So as long as the positive reviews keep on going up, the negative reviews are going to kind of continue to flow in till people get tired of this. So I think the best thing for all of us to do is to watch this with the utmost seriousness and make sure that we report on this every single time. I think that's probably the best thing to do to make sure that we're on top of this story right here on PlayerEssence. But at the end of the day, Astral Chain still has an amazing score on Metacritic, with the reviews that actually matter. And no matter how many silly people, no matter how many salt-filled S+ people go and review bomb it or whatever, it doesn't change the fact that the game is exclusive to the Nintendo Switch at the moment. So what are you guys' thoughts when it comes to this? Are you planning any negative reviews for games that you haven't played? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go and check out the links in the description below. We got Facebook and Twitter. Go and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Hit that like button if you did like this video. Let me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for this RPG, Japanese, and Nintendo gaming news. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.